We're here at Wamargama Station and this is the Mountain Creek. The Mountain Creek has one of the last 3 populations of Southern Pygmy Perch that are left in the Murray catchment. So Southern Pygmy Perch have disappeared from most of their range, so they were right across the Murray-Darling Basin. They require pool habitat with lots of aquatic vegetation, and due to everything, agricultural development, drainage, all that sort of thing, their habitat has disappeared. And so we think that they're actually left up here as their sort of last resort up in the upper catchment. They also get preyed upon by introduced fish.
As a kid I used to swim in here and I used to see little blackfish, and it was really lovely, and it was very sad to end up in any summer after 85. You know, you were like Jesus, you could walk on it. But it wasn't water, it was sand. And I know that we were not just losing the pygmy perch, but you know, the little blackfish.
There were a lot of interest from landholders after the floods of 2010 in the native fish that they were seeing. So we did some monitoring, and that was when we located these populations of Southern Pygmy Perch.
Well, originally the pool was here and it was very natural and we always pumped water out of. But after 85, the big fires that filled up with sand, has been filling up with sand ever since.
The focus has been on trying to maintain refuge pools for them, because a lot of these streams are ephemeral. There's been a lot of erosion and sedimentation, and so the deep pools that used to sustain the fish over summertime are filling up with sand.
Once Landcare built this area here and raised the level a little bit, it means now when the water flows, it just falls a bit deeper and a bit harder and just cuts away that sand and keeps the pool clean. So as you can see, we've got some depth of water in there so that fish will be able to live there. We've fenced off the whole site. We do actually strategically graze it at times when it needs it, but I think that's really enhanced the whole area. Management-wise, we've got some really good fences that we wouldn't have had before, stabilising all the banks and everything like that with a fair bit of vegetation, something it's very hard to do when you're grazing it normally.
So here at Wamargama Station, the owner Claire Cannon, they have a strong ethic around environmental stewardship and sustainable production. They use that to build their brand, so they have a accreditation for their wool, and they're able to attract a premium price for their beef. Claire's philosophy is that environmental stewardship and putting a land aside for conservation, looking after species, is part of Wamargama's brand value. It's recognising the future consumers are going to want to know the provenance of their food and they want to know the story behind it, so this sort of works is so important.
I love the whole fact that we've got a bit of ribbon weed down there, and this has slowed the water up here, so we're holding a bit more water up through here and getting a bit more green growth, which then stabilises the bank. Look, I'd certainly recommend to other farmers and landholders to take on projects like this, because, you know, if you think you're fencing off such a small section of your farm, by doing that, you're enhancing your whole farm. You know, you're actually stabilising banks, you haven't got the erosion problems that you can have, and you've got a lot more control of your livestock. It's just a great asset to have on the farm, and it's very special for me, I guess, knowing that as a kid I used to swim in it.